Hello again, everyone. This time we're going to be doing a live interview with author T.D. Ricketts. And I'm going to read a little bit while we wait for him to join because of the way live video works. So T.D. Ricketts is an avid reader, raised on a steady diet of James Michener. Oh, there he is. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in and then finish reading. On a steady diet of James Michener, Isaac Asimov, Robert Heinlein, and the 60s sci-fi magazines, Postapok caught his fancy after finding a copy of Earth Abides by George R. Stewart. After watching zombie films and reading anything he could get his hands on at the local library, he started writing his own stories. Nobody saw them, and they are hopefully buried deep in a landfill somewhere. His family had kennels, and there were always dogs, cats, ducks, geese, crows, and a herd of various other critters around. Taking his hunting, shooting, and camping experience into consideration, he started writing what he knows. To the Hills is the story of one man and his trip to get to his family. It is set a couple of years before his book, which should be out in February 2018. And yes, before anyone asks, Moo is a real person. Dog. Married for 35 years and living in the mighty Mitten, aka Michigan, with his beautiful wife, his grandson is a handsome young lad, and his two beautiful daughters all brighten his life. At the end of this interview, TD will put up a post. Just comment for a chance to get yourself in his novel. Now that's an exciting opportunity. Welcome, Tim.
Hey, how are you, Kevin?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming along for this fun ride tonight.
Oh, appreciate it. I'm in there with some great authors. I mean, I'm honored to be there.
We're glad to have
great stories.
Absolutely. So I got some questions for you that hopefully our audience will enjoy hearing about to learn more about you, so they kind of know what to expect when they get to read your story, both in the anthology and then later next year when your book comes out. So how did you get started writing?
I've always been kind of a natural storyteller, shooting the breeze and that. I had a couple articles in some bike magazines and this, that, and the other thing. Hopefully nobody can ever find those. They belong buried in a landfill too. I started doing some beta reading for some authors and such, and I mentioned that I was thinking about writing again. And some guy by the name of Kevin Pierce put a boot up my butt and told me to quit thinking and start doing. And then shortly after that, I received an invite to submit for anthology. Some gal named Valerie something or other. I cranked out about 3,000 words in 24 hours, sent a rough draft, and the immediate response was mine, 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 and she grabbed it and ran.
Nice.
Since then, it was a riot. Story wrote itself. I mean, you got to love it when a story just writes itself. 24 hours, 3,000 words, cranked right out. Since then, I've got 7 shorts coming out within the next 2 months. I've got one in the Treasure Chest anthology for Good Morning Zompak. It's breast cancer story. I've got this one that's come out. It's set up as a prequel for the book. It's a couple years ahead of the time frame for the book, which kind of sets it up for sequels, more prequels, whatever. And it's taken off. I'm having a blast with it. It's a ton of work, but it's a lot of fun.
Right on. And so where do you get the ideas for your stories?
I don't know. They come out of that warped little corner in the back of my mind. A lot of stuff that happens. I mean, I've worked in shops for years, and different things happen in the shops, and you see different things, and you hear a lot of stories from a lot of different people, and I read anything I can get my hands on, seems like. I think my wife will vouch for that fact. It seems like for years, I've always had a book in my hand. A lot of people do.
Yeah, absolutely. We like those kind of people. They're called readers.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved in this anthology?
Yeah. Once again, several people were talking about it, and I said, hey, what's this? What's going on here? And and pretty soon I was invited to participate, and I started cranking away and working on it. And the story was actually a little bit of work. It didn't write itself or anything, but I had to reset my mind to shift from one story to another that I was working on. And, you know, being invited, I saw the lineup and who all was participating. It's like, wow, a chance to be in an anthology with all these people. I wasn't going to pass it up. It was
Gotcha.
just too good a chance, too good an opportunity, and so many good authors involved.
Gotcha. So, what has been the reaction to your stories? Those that, oh, I recognize that glass. That looks like a David Simpson special.
That would be a Simpson swag.
Right on. He gives away the best stuff. So,
I
anyway,
think everybody in there got one of those.
yeah,
It's good
what's
stuff.
stories from those that have read them besides Valerie saying mine, mine, mine?
I had I've had a lot of encouragement. I've had some criticism on them. I've had 3 rejections in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and some very good explanations as to why. And stuff that'll make me a better writer.
Good.
Um, I had the highest compliment I've ever had paid to me when a young lady read one of my stories, and the only response I got was, "Damn it, you made me cry."
Nice.
So if I can write a story that can make a little girl cry, I mean, I feel bad about it, but I'm also feel good about it at the same time.
Absolutely. Evoking emotions is a powerful ability.
Yeah, you got to take what you can while you can.
Hmm.
It offsets the rejections.
Yes, and those happen to everybody, so no worries there. Quick comment to Tamara. I see you just commented you're having trouble watching on your iPad. We will be saving and uploading this video and the other videos for the rest of the night so that you can come back and watch them in the feed versus live. So don't worry about that. And then one more question, Tim. So when will we see your book, and what can we expect inside of it?
I'm planning shooting for February of 2018. Um, it's kind of a crossover between a Zompac and kind of a little prepper uh, lean towards it as far as the survival during Zompac. Whether what happens if somebody that's prepped as a prepper but not really ready for a Zompac or having the zombies running around. What happens a couple years after? I took the premise of starting a couple years after, and of course, everybody's has their favorites and this, that, and the other thing, and I've got some dogs involved in it. Henceforth, Release of Hounds is a tentative title for it.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, you get somebody that's used to working with dogs and trains dogs and such. Um, you know, can they help you in that situation? What will it work? What can you do? I got a young lady I know who's a dog trainer that she already told me she's going to call bull on me if I start putting in stuff that Wonder Dog can't do. But I've been around dogs all my life, and they've always been kind of a big part of my life. And you never hear what happens to the animals during that. You hear the one guy in the middle of a zombie story that sees a mangy stray dog go running by. What do you? So, what happens to them all? Where are they? Who's going to keep them? Who's going to do what? How's the person going to survive and manage to take care of their animals and such? You know, Something along that line. I've got a few twists and turns in there. Maybe throw in a boy meets girl.
Gotcha.
We'll see.
It looks like,
Plus, I've got winner of a contest here too.
yeah.
So I don't know if that post has made it up yet.
Well, I see that
I think
Joan
I see it.
commented that she asked if her Chihuahuas could be in your book. They're vicious. That sounds pretty exciting.
Oh yeah, those ankle biters get you every time. Some of them you just can't trust.
Hopefully, they're not zombie dogs.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So you mentioned that your
Yeah.
book. was about preppers. So, are you a prepper?
No,
No.
no. I've got a few toys. I camp, I hunt, I fish. I done a little bit of backpacking, and I can handle myself in the woods. But no, I don't have a cave set up back in the middle of nowhere. As much as I'd love to have a cabin tucked back in the middle of nowhere, it's just not in the cards for right now. I mean, that's nope, not my thing. I have a house payment, you know.
Yeah,
You got to
unfortunately,
pay the bills.
I do
Yeah,
understand.
that's stuff that takes so much time and money to do that. I don't know how people can.
So
I'm
that
not that good.
another question, being sounds like you work full time. So where do you find time to write?
Oh Lord. I work second shift, and a lot of times I'll get off work midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., you know, 2:30 before I get home. So I've got the house, nobody awake, nobody moving, and it takes me time to wind down. So I'll get home, jump on a computer, and spend an hour. Lunchtime at work, I'll sit down for a half hour and crank out as much as I can and try and keep an idea going and coherent. But anywhere I can, it seems like lately. The hard part's being dedicated and forcing myself to write every day.
Hmm.
You know,
Is there anything
that's
you
just
is there
hard to do.
it is? Is there anything you do to keep yourself motivated every day?
Coffee, lots
Coffee.
of coffee.
Coffee is a good motivator. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a coffee addict. Motivation is trying for me. I mean, is trying to get the idea out of your head and get it down on the paper. What's the killer for me is having the editing, going back through, proofing, reading, rereading, sending it to a beta, getting feedback from the betas, trying to work from three different people's inputs and work it over to the point where I can comfortably send it to an editor.
Gotcha. So as we get ready to wrap up, is there anything else that you want potential new fans to know about you or your writing or what your plans are for the future?
Just keep your eyes open. I've got a Facebook page, TD Ricketts author, at TD Ricketts Writing. Got it right there. Uh, please go ahead, like the page if you'd like. Yeah, Joe, yeah, Jeannie, you're right. Editing is a monster. Uh, about all I've got, Kevin. Thanks. I appreciate you helping me out with this.
No problem.
It's
It's been
easier to have a conversation than just go solo. I give Sylvester props for going solo.
yeah, that was pretty good. So thank you. Look forward to having fun with you the rest of the night.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. We'll talk to you later.
Sounds good.